On a peaceful day inside Ares' empire, a statue stands tall, and kids play around, and everyone is happy. Guards are talking about how peaceful it is. Then the other guard says that who knows when the revolutionaries will act up again. He is very angry with them. The other guard says that it has been quite recently. So maybe revolutionaries had realized that their little rebellion was pointless. Then the other guard says that maybe the empire's knights took care of them. They just hope that it stays like this. But deep underground in the city, revolutionaries are having a meeting about the assassination of the emperor. They are planning to do that on the night of that day. Their main goal is to destroy the empire and revive their kingdom. The top leader of the revolutionaries is ready to do that. Then their leader told a red-haired revolutionary called Logan that his job is the most important. His job is to protect the secret text at all costs. He replies that he is aware of his duty. After that, the meeting ends, and they come out. A guy stops him and said that he sure is patriotic. Logan asks him what he means. He told him that he is talking about the secret text. Countless people were sacrificed to take and protect the secret text from the empire. Possessing that book is equal to wearing red loose clothes in front of a bull. Whoever has that book becomes the #1 target of the empire, and he is taking that risk to protect the book. Then Logan replies to him he didn't volunteer for this role. The other guy said that he knows that it's because he is fluent in the ancient tongue, but still protecting it without complaints is patriotic enough. Then Logan stopped him and told him that he is indirectly insulting the other comrades. And he is not doing this because of patriotism, but revenge. He was a good-for-nothing who lost to his younger brother, who just started learning swordsmanship a few years ago while he is learning it for more than a decade. He didn't just lose. He lost very pathetically. And because of the humiliation, he poisoned his younger brother. He is more than just pathetic. His father was very disappointed and angry with him. In anger, his father kicked him out of the family. He left the family and became a mercenary. Only after 10 years of hard work did he realize how terrible of a person he had been. But by then, it was all too late. One day when he was walking on the streets, he heard people talking about a public execution of a prisoner called Ronan. He's an aura user who fought the empire on the front lines. But the royal family ran off and abandoned him. Yes, it was his younger brother. Logan runs as fast as he can. He wants to say sorry to him. But again, it's too late for that. His brother is already executed, and the Empire Guard is showing his head to everyone to set an example for everyone who goes against them. He promised at that time that he will get revenge. Revenge on the Empire for killing his family and taking away his chance to beg for forgiveness. But he can't do much now. The guards are after him because of the book. He is running away from them. But soon, he reached the dead end, and the guards are already closing up the gap. So he has no chance to escape. He starts fighting them. He killed one, then another one comes. He killed the second one, then the third one comes. He killed the third one. Then more come and surrounded him. Now that he had no choice, he dropped his sword and took out a blue orb and crushed it and shouted, "Let's all die together." The guards were confused about what is happening. Then a big explosion occurred and killed everyone present there, including Logan. Well, this might be the end of the story of a person like Logan. Well, if it's a normal story. But this is a regressive story. He regressed back to the time he was defeated by his younger brother. He woke up suddenly and his head was hurting. He was confused about how can his head hurt if he is already dead. Then his butler comes and asks him if he is all right. Logan was confused and remembered that this person is Rick, his main servant or butler for short. But Rick is already dead 30 years ago in his timeline. Logan asks Rick about how is he still alive. Rick was very shocked. He quickly asks the maid to call a doctor, telling that the young master has hurt his head very badly. While Logan is looking outside the window, he sees his family symbol everywhere. He was confused if it a dream. Then his younger brother Ronan comes. He was very nervous and afraid. Logan now remembers this scene. It's the scene where he lost pathetically to his younger brother. And when Ronan came to visit him, he threw a pillow at him and called him a child of a concubine. Despite all the insults, Ronan used to follow him everywhere. But after that day, he never came to see Logan again. Logan's head suddenly started hurting remembering all this. Seeing this, Rick asks Ronan to go back, but Logan told him that it's okay. Then Logan asks Ronan to come near him. Ronan was very happy that his older brother is calling him near him for the first time. Rick was confused about what is going on. Ronan said sorry for what happened. Logan told him that it's okay and he doesn't need to keep apologizing because he didn't do anything wrong, and he should be the one to apologize. Then Logan remembers his vow and desire for apologizing in the past or future. It depends on the way you look at it. His head starts hurting again. Ronan said that he really needs to rest more, and he should go now. Logan was thinking that how someone as kind as Ronan was killed. He grabbed Ronan and said sorry. Logan was shaking while thinking about all this and started crying. He hugged his brother very tightly and kept crying. Ronan asks Logan, why is he crying? But Logan didn't say anything and just kept crying. Then Ronan also started crying. Just like that, both Logan and his brother kept crying for some time without saying anything. After both Logan and his brother finished crying, Ronan left with a big smile. Logan also says goodbye to him with a happy face. If the artist of this manhwa is watching this, please stop drawing Logan like an old man. After his brother left, Logan gets back into serious mode because if it's not a dream and he really back in the past, then he needs to change everything. Then a maid comes there and starts apologizing. Logan was confused about what is she apologizing for. Then Rick comes forward and said he forgot to warn her, and she interrupted his rest. She got the rooms confused and entered his room. Then he remembered that he also used to mistreat the servants too. He told them that it's fine, and she didn't do anything wrong. He asks Rick to bring him paper and pen. Rick and the maid were very shocked. Rick asked Logan about what is he going to do marry with a pen and paper. In an instant, their imagination goes wild. Who knows what things have they thought in this moment? Then Logan told Rick to send her out and bring him the paper and pen. Rick brings him a pen and a bundle of papers. Then Logan thanked Rick and told him that he can go now and make sure that no one comes to his room. Rick was very shocked that Logan thanked him. He asks Logan if he really is all right, or does his head still hurt. Then Logan gets angry by this and told him to get out. After hearing Logan shouting at him again, Rick feels relieved and goes out with a happy face. Logan feels a little relieved, but Rick told others outside that Logan just yelled at him, so he must be fine. They can go back to their work. Logan was angry, but these are all the consequences of his own actions. The most important thing for him right now is to record everything that he still remembers about the future. The war against the empire that will happen in 10 years. A disaster that will not only bring down his own family, but the entire nation. Preventing that is his goal. But before that, he has to protect his family from the war of the fiefdom that will occur a year from the current present. This war began abruptly and partially destroyed his family, bringing his family into the dark times. He needs to prevent that. He has to meet the family head first. As he was going to meet the family head, all servants are very afraid of him, and because of the fear, a maid who is carrying stuff falls to the ground. She starts trembling in fear of Logan. She is blaming herself that she fell in front of the young master Logan. She is thinking that she is dead for sure. Then Logan extends his hand towards her and asks her if she is okay. She feels a little relieved and looks up. But as soon as she looked up, she entered the unspeakable state of fear. Anyone can go into a coma after seeing this smile of Logan. She started begging him for forgiveness while she is trembling in fear non-stop.
チャンネル登録お願いね。
Logan suddenly backed off and asked her what's wrong with her. Why is she suddenly doing this? Then he thinks that it's strange that the person changed overnight. So they need time to adjust, and he just needs to take his time and show them that he has changed. He looked at the mirror and smiled, thinking that it can't possibly be because his smile is awkward. Of course not. It's still better than Lloyd. Then Logan reached the door of the family head, also his father. The butler informed the family head that Logan has come to meet him. Logan remembered his past life. In his previous life, he resented his father for years after being kicked out. He thinks that his father is a cold-hearted person who gave up on any expectations he had of his son and didn't visit his son for a second when he collapsed after being hurt in an official duel, and that he was a cruel father who heartlessly cast away his child. But now he knows how stupid he was to think that. Now he realizes how heartbroken a parent would be for them to kick out their own child. Now he meets his father with his heart open. He was almost cried, but he can't do that here. His father asks him, why is he here? His father looks like a big noble, but actually his father is a baron and his name is Patrick McLean. Then Logan tells him that he is here to get his permission to go into isolated training on the family plot. His father was confused to hear these words from the mouth of Logan. Actually, what Logan wants to do is win the regional war that is going to happen within a year. And to do that, he needs to strengthen the whole territory's forces. Strengthening the forces of knights and soldiers, reinforcing and developing weapons, and several more methods. For the sake of all this to happen, what he needs right now is money. He needs lots of money. But the McLeans are notorious in the whole kingdom for being the beggar family. They have no money. They are running with the loan money. But there is one way of earning a lot of money at once. Of course, the way is not honorable. But from this single event that will happen 3 months, he could earn a whole year's worth of the family's budget all at once. For that, he needs to build his martial abilities and have a voice. Then his father asks him if he wants to run away because he lost to his little brother. Logan says that it's not that, and it's just that he realized how lacking he has been all this time. So even if it's late, he is trying to get things together. His father told him that it's not just because he was lacking effort, and it looks like he still hasn't come to his senses. Logan says that he also realized that his behavior all this time was also a problem. But his father is not buying it so easily. He says that already he heard him say that so many times already. He told Logan to leave. Then Logan says that all this time, instead of acknowledging his own shortcomings, he took his anger out on others. He says that he was extremely foolish and immature. So through this training, he wishes to get that immaturity under control as well. So, he asks his father again to let him go. His father agrees and asks him about the time period he plans to stay in training. Then he told that 3 months is enough. His father asks him if this little time is enough to catch up to Ronan. Logan says that it's not for the sake of beating Ronan. By choosing a short amount of time, he simply wants to do the best he can. His father is happy with his answer and reasoning. He allowed it with a smile. Logan was also happy. He thanks his father for that and starts going from there. Then his father stops him and tells him that it's still spring. So the family burial grounds will be too cold for sleeping. So he should take care to stay warm. What an indirect way to say, stay alive. Logan was a little shocked to hear that. Then smiles and said, yes, father. It looks like he doesn't have his father's talent. Then, a few days later, he reached the family land, where only the immediate McLean family members are allowed to go inside. So no one comes here. On top of that, it's huge. It's perfect for solitary training. After all, he can't let anyone see this training method yet. He is going to learn the divine sword secrets. In his previous life, he memorized and burned this book of secrets so the Empire wouldn't get their hands on it at any cost. Originally, the book is embroidered with a golden hawk. It has the secrets passed down by the hero of ancient times who slayed the dragon that ruled the world. Whatever you want to call that dragon, evil or ruler, it depends. He transcribed it using the Independent Army's secret code so no one could read it. And if the Book of Secrets was true, and he mastered it perfectly, then the Empire's aura masters or even archmages won't be scary anymore. The reason he wasn't able to master it in his previous life was his age. He was already too old, and his talent was also not that good. But right now, he is back in his 20s. He has a chance. The first thing that makes someone a knight is force. Modifying the body itself using life force is called the force. That is also the basis of the Divine Sword's secrets. To create a core, he must focus this force towards the heart and create a core. This is a hard task for average talent, and the past Logan would have already broken down at this stage. But after regressing, his force has evolved in all aspects. He assumes that with this new improved force, 3 days and nights of hard work would be enough to create a core. But to his surprise, the core is already being made in a blink. While the core is being created, tremendously dense energy is bursting forth. It's like his whole body is soaking in it like rain after a long drought. Logan was very happy with the results, so he decided to learn the secret arts right away. He grabbed the sword and swung it. It's already looking great. His constitution and senses took a complete turn. It all changed in a way that's suitable for wielding the sword. Logan still had no idea how the core of the force was created this quickly. But I think it's because he was still a force user in his last life. And the force and core are not just related to the body, but with one's mind. And with this, he started his 3-month training. He kept training day and night for 3 months. Now this is the last day of his training. Among the 10 sword techniques recorded in the Book of Secrets, the sword that cuts through time and space. Time-space slash. Time-space slash. With the single core that he possesses, which is just a 1-star core, the only sword technique that he can perform is the first technique, which is called slashing wave rippling divide. Logan was completely exhausted after only a single strike, but he was very impressed by its power. This strike split the big tree in half. Logan was very happy. This power is beyond his imagination. This isn't a technique that a newbie force user could pull off. Even though he is worn out after a single strike, it still could be a good card to have in your sleeve for emergencies. Since he already accomplished the goals of his training, now he'll be able to proudly report back the results to his father. Of course, not the complete results, but before that, he should wash up before he visits him. When he goes back to his house and tries to visit his father, a knight at the door stopped him and told him that he can't meet the family head. Logan asks him, "Why is that? Is his father sick or something?" The knight said that it's the family law that says that even the direct blood relatives cannot see the head without prior notice. Butler Rick told Logan that those are the family rules that are a few hundred years old. Logan says that he met him this way just 3 months ago. The knight says that it just means that the guard in charge didn't do his job properly. Logan was feeling strange because something like this didn't happen in his previous life. Then he hears the voices of other guards. They are making fun of Logan, saying that he is just a coward who ran away after losing to his little brother. And the knight knows that he can't let out a squeak. It looks like his reputation hit rock bottom while he was away for his solitary training. So much so that even the family's knights take him for a joke. He was planning on showing how he changed and slowly change his reputation. But now that things are looking like this, he decided to take care of it right now. He asks the name of the knight. The knight told him his name. It's Dominant. Everyone is confused about what he is doing and what he is going to take out. Logan starts saying that he stopped him from meeting his father using a family rule that's basically dead. And he also humiliated him with a consistent insolent attitude. So in order to pay back the unjust humiliation, he challenged the knight for a duel by throwing the gloves at the face of the knight. Everyone was in complete shock, seeing Logan challenging a knight. Rick almost goes crazy because of him. He tried to stop him, but Logan keeps insulting the knight. He asks him why is he not answering. Is he so scared that he has his tail between his legs against a rumored coward? And he is just past his prime now. In other words, he is just an old man now. This is too much for the knight to endure, so he agreed to do it. He accepted the duel. The duel is held outside. Everyone is surprised but eager to see the duel. Some are worried for Logan, while others want to see him getting beat up. They start betting about how long Logan will last. Some say 10 minutes, while others say that he won't even last 5 minutes. But no one is expecting him to win at all. The knight told Logan to take care of himself and not get hurt. Of course, his face is saying something else. But he didn't have the guts to say anything to a main family member in front of other knights. Logan knows that, so he was just smiling. But the most worried person here is Rick. He can't stop the duel and can't see his master get beaten up. So he is basically screwed now. Logan and Dominan are ready to fight. The other knight becomes the referee of this duel. He tells them that for the sake of safety, only wooden weapons will be used. He asks Logan if he is ready. Logan nods to show that he is ready. But the referee knight was worried and thinking if he should really be going ahead with this. But since Logan was stubborn about it, he doesn't have any room to do anything. The best he can do is limit them to wooden weapons. But knights are mainly force users, so they could kill a person even with a wooden weapon. Whatever happens here won't be his responsibility, but still, he can't see Logan getting beat up. He was just hoping that Dominan will go easy on Logan. So he starts the duel. Both Logan and Dominan take distance from each other and take their stances. But it looks like Dominan was not planning to go easy on Logan. He was planning to use force from the start. Rick was so worried that he was almost eating his fingers. But Logan was unfazed. Instead, he was just bored and disappointed after seeing Dominan using force. Because it might look intimidating if someone doesn't know. But that's a sign that he's clumsy with force, and his force is leaking out because he's unable to control it. Logan asks him if something upset him. Actually, he was upset by the words that Logan said about him being past his prime. The worst in the Knight Order at the age of 40, Dominan had already decided to retire. He just roughly goes about his errands, living while waiting to retire. But when Logan said that he is past his prime, this triggered his pride. He was very angry right now. Rick was worried that Logan is going to die. He asks the referee knight to stop the duel, but the referee says that he can't stop this because Logan agreed to this. Dominan decided to end this with a single strike. He used his most powerful technique called Mighty Triple Kill. I just want to ask, who was the one with this naming sense? That person's naming sense is as bad as mine. Dominan used his full power, but Logan deflects the sword easily and defeats Dominan with his own power. Of course, Logan also used force, but he used it minimally. After defeating Dominan, Logan starts showing off. He asks Dominan if this is the best he can do, and if he calls himself a knight. Guards and servants are all shocked after seeing this scene. They almost freeze for a second. After some time, they react, and the guards still couldn't believe what just happened. They are most surprised to find out that Logan is a force user. Logan told the referee that he wants to give Dominan another chance. Then the referee asks Dominan if he is okay. Of course, Dominan is not okay. He can't believe that he is weaker than a kid who is just a loser. So he grabs his sword again, believing that it's just a fluke. But Logan just lifts his sword casually and crashes it on Dominan's face, knocking him out. Logan was not satisfied with him despite giving him another chance. Dominan's nose was bleeding from that hit, and he tried to admit defeat. But Logan was not going to let him go easily. He attacked him on the face, and he is not going to stop with just that. He was going to thoroughly punish him for mocking him. He starts the beating now. Rick was worried for Dominan after seeing how cruel Logan is. He is now asking the referee that they should be stopping him. The guards were also shocked to see how much Logan has changed in 3 months. Not only has his force awakened, but even his sword skills have totally changed. Logan beats Dominant until he passes out. After that, the referee declares Logan the winner of the duel. After that, Logan goes to meet his dad. His dad asks him how he awakened the force and what happened during the training. Logan was a little shocked that he was watching his duel, but he still knows it in his heart. Logan told his father that he just got rid of his greed and thought, and he just let go of everything. And as he kept training with that mindset, at one point, he could feel force filling up inside him. It sounds like a lie, but this is actually a realization he gained in his past life. Only after he gave up everything to avenge his family could he become a force user. Of course, at that time, he was above 40. His father says that he certainly changed since he has the empty realization. But after gaining that realization, the first thing he decided to do is to assault a knight. Logan says that he deserved it, and he might have already heard the whole story already. Logan's dad says that he heard it, but is there really a need to go so far? Logan told him that there was indeed a need to go this far. His father was surprised by Logan's answer. Then Logan explains the reason. He told his father that Dominon was trying to make a fool of the blood of his lord, and if left unchecked, he would have been a poison to the family's discipline. Logan sure is smart. He is using family name and honor to justify his own personal revenge. Then his father agreed with him and said that Dominon is definitely largely at fault since he forgot his duty in the first place and tried fooling him. But he also gives Logan advice to restrain himself. Logan was surprised that his father forgave him so easily. Then his father asks him what is with this look and asks him if he needs punishment. Then he told him that he is not saying that what he did was right and he should not do something like this again without his permission. Logan says that he understands. Then his father told him one more thing. He told him that his fiancée called Reena Wolves will be coming soon. He was actually waiting for his cash cow. Yes, she is the one he was waiting to earn a fortune from. As Reena Wolves comes, everyone is amazed by her beauty. They are envious of Logan. She greets everyone with a beautiful smile. Even Rick was amazed by her beauty. But the guy who should be the happiest is not looking happy. Then she starts reading the letter that the Count means her father has entrusted her with. The letter was so long that it takes her around half an hour to read it, and so she finished it with a request to break off the arranged marriage. For a moment, everything becomes silent. The Count beat around the bush, but the real message behind it was like this. He thought Logan's father would become an aura user, but he's been stuck as a high-ranking knight for over 20 years. And on top of that, Logan is the worst. So they should just go their separate ways. That's what I was thinking. What is the reason for a count to marry his beautiful daughter to an extremely poor baron's son, who is famous for being good for nothing and has no chance to become a baron in the future? So I think it's good enough that they didn't humiliate him and tried to keep the message as indirect as possible. But of course, Logan's father is a proud man, and he will take this as a humiliation. He got angry and asked her if they're trying to humiliate them. Reena said that it's not like this, and she came as an envoy because she was concerned that he will think it that way. So she came to clear the misunderstanding herself. She even cried and said that, still, have vivid memories of her 1-year stay here during their childhood, and she had no wish to abandon them. But she is bound by her family and has no choice but to follow their directions. So she thought that it would be best to meet young Master Logan in person and apologize. Maids are moved by her words and were thinking that her heart is as beautiful as her face. Of course, not everyone thinks like this. Like Mary and Kairos, Logan's stepmother and Ronian's biological mother. She asks Reena to tell her that she'd like to hear about those unavoidable circumstances. She doesn't like Logan and regards him as an enemy because of the matter of succession, so Logan thought that she'd stay quiet. But it looks like the family's honor is more important. Reena apologizes and says that she herself is unaware of the reason, so she cannot tell her about it, because she is only someone who shall marry and become part of another family's. So, her father doesn't discuss important family matters with her. Of course, Logan's stepmother is not going to easily accept it. She is a tigress after all. Reena says that in return, the Wolves family intends to pay 3 million gold as compensation for breaking the engagement. McLean's family finance manager, Dwayne Filsner, was very happy after hearing the amount. Logan was also waiting for this free cash. But of course, Logan's dad is not going to sell his honor for just 3 million gold. He was extremely furious by this. In anger, he released his power that even his guards are unable to handle. Then Reena's knight comes forward to protect her. He introduces himself as Rockfern, the knight of the House of Wolves. He pleads to Baron to calm down and continue the conversation. This knight is also a high-ranking knight, just like Logan's dad. He was impressed by that. He was able to achieve it at his age. Of course, this means he should injure him. Who is the Wolves family's rising star, in exchange for the disgrace to McLean family's honor? But it looks like they know the way to get out of this. They said that the Count said that McLean Patriarch is a man of honor, and that he also said that he wouldn't persecute the young lady or a young junior. They know how to play with him using his honor. Reena said that they don't want to buy his honor with money either. They just hope that he accepts it as a gesture of a sincere attempt to maintain friendship between two families, despite the public criticism invited due to unavoidable circumstances. They pushed Logan's dad into a corner now. If he presses this matter any further against juniors, he will become a man without honor. He understands their plans, and he was about to burst with anger because of it. But he decided to let the knight live unscathed. He says that they will not accept the money, but in exchange for breaking the engagement, House McLean only requests one thing, and that is the apology. The guards are impressed by his decision. But Logan is not happy with the decision. He can't let his plan to get free money go to ruin. 3 million gold is the whole year budget of the McLean family after all. Also, half of their current funding is the support they get from Logan's stepmother's family, and they will go bankrupt the moment that support is cut off. So there is no way they can afford honor. He tells his father that he will like to accept the terms of the Wolves offered as an apology. His father is very angry that he wants him to go back on his words. He puts pressure on Logan, but Logan tries to handle this with his force. His father says that McLean House isn't so poor that they need to abandon their honor for the sake of money. This is called not having the sense of reality. Logan takes a long breath and tells him that they are that poor. He says that McLean House owes the bank 3 million gold right now, and a year's interest alone is 150,000 gold. And without the Kairos' support, they'd be bankrupt right now. They are the kingdom's greatest beggar family. Well, at least that's what he was thinking. But since this is an official meeting and everyone is here, he decided to keep it to himself. They are more poor than I was thinking. They're basically running in negative money. Logan decided to play the same card of honor. He says that he was doing this for honor. His father was confused about how him going back on his words is for honor. Logan says that Wolves' house has a higher standing than their family, and the Count is also a Margrave of the East. And though they are a leading power in the East, they're not the family. The McLeans serve as their lord, and he fears that ending this with just an apology would lead to rumors of them having bowed down to the Wolves. Reena said that House Wolves isn't such an irrational family, and they have the utmost respect for McLean's honor. It looks like she's trying to save her family money. Logan asks her that she comes to one-sidedly break the engagement, and yet she talks about rationality. She doesn't know what to say now. In the previous life, Logan believed that Reena was genuinely sad about the engagement breakup. And before doing this stuff, she is doing now. She called Logan to meet alone. She told him that they might have to break up, but she wants to create a last memory with him. And the stupid Logan thought that since his life as a young master is ruined anyway, so why not go with the flow and risk it all for the woman he loves and run away? But of course, this is his wishful thinking. Reena has something else stored for him. She first tears her clothes and then throws the knife towards Logan and tells him to learn where he belongs and get lost. And since you lost to his younger brother, it just made things easy for her. Logan was still confused about what she meant. Then she started tearing her clothes and started screaming. As soon as she screamed, her knight comes in the room. After that, she started crying in front of him and says that Logan became aggressive, and you can guess what else she tells everyone. She deserves an Oscar. She is so good at crying. And since Logan is already at fault for so many mistakes, so no one believed him, including his family. As a result, the McLeans were forced to apologize to the Wolves and pay a hefty compensation. After that, because of her, he never trusted women. But he is not going to let her get away with it, just like this. At first, he thought that he would change his reputation in the family. He was planning to slowly show them how he had changed and convince them, believing that someday they would accept him too. At least, that's what he thought initially. However, his fight with Dominion made him realize that he can't change the minds of these people and transform the family by gaining acknowledgement from individuals like them.
Logan decided to abandon his reputation and told Reena that he would accept the money regardless of his family's wishes. Reena was very shocked because she didn't expect this. But Logan's father got very angry with him. Logan said that he could not be satisfied with lip service apologies alone, and if honor could be compensated for words that disappeared into thin air, then its worth would be just as light as those words. Reena was not looking very happy about it. She said that she would only obey the will of the Baron. It looks like she doesn't want to give the money at all. She is just saying all of this to save her father's name. But she is feeling terrible at the thought of paying up $3 million. Logan's father said that as a Baron and representative of the McLean family, he is satisfied with a sincere apology, but he leaves it to Logan to decide if the apology is sincere or not. After that, everyone started talking, and you could tell Reena's feelings by looking at her expression. Logan's father asked him to think carefully because if he accepted money for dishonor, then he would be opening the door for his honor to be traded in the future too. His father is looking forward to hearing his decision, but Logan is not going to back down now, and he decided to accept the money. Well, his stepmother is happy because it just increases her child's chance to succeed the position of the Baron in the future. And Reena was very frustrated because her plan failed. But the person most affected by Logan's decision is his dad. He was very disappointed and sad. He said that it's all his own fault that he didn't teach him the real value of honor. Logan was also sad seeing his dad like this, but for the future of the family, he has to do it. Now that he finally has money in his hand, he can do what he was thinking of doing. Then someone came to his door. The person who comes is Dwayne, the financial manager of the McLean family and also Logan's father's most trusted. In other words, this big smile isn't for Logan, it's for the huge sum of money that Logan has right now. No, it's not that he is crazy for money. It's just that he is facing the biggest challenge of his life right now, because as the financial manager of McLean, he has been running the entire estate on an ever-shrinking budget, and he has to fulfill the needs of servants and soldiers who are running out of supplies. So, he had to make up for the lack of money by begging the patriarch's in-laws. So at this point, he is more like the boss of beggars instead of the financial manager. If it wasn't his hometown, he would have resigned long ago. But now he sees a chance to be comfortable for at least a few years, and his opponent is a clueless, foolish kid. That's the image of Logan he had in his mind. So he is here to take a big piece of the pie, I mean the $3 million. He starts his plan by appreciating the thing Logan did yesterday. He says that he is very impressed by the way he stood up for himself without backing down, and he has an amazing appearance truly fitting of McLean heir. He was very happy with his own flattery. He thinks that since Logan only did stupid things before, so this must be his first time receiving flattery. So, he was expecting that Logan will easily open his heart and his wallet. But of course, Logan found this whole thing gross. Dwayne was a little surprised, but he still has more ways to get the money. He started explaining the hardship of the family and says that now that Logan has money, the family can relax a bit. But Logan says that it's his money, so why is he getting excited for it? Now Dwayne was worried that this rascal Logan is going to use it all by himself. But Dwayne can't back down either. He is the boss of begging, after all, but he can't bring himself to beg in front of someone like Logan. He starts crying while thinking all this. Seeing him crying, Logan asks him if the family situation is really that bad. Dwayne sees this as a chance and tells him that the family owes the bank 3 million gold. And he tries to tell Logan to invest it, but Logan says it before him. This surprises him that Logan knew about it. Then Logan says that it's harvest time, so he will be able to pay it. Dwayne was a little surprised that he knew that much, and because of it, he loses confidence. He says that running a barony costs lots of money, and they are on a tight budget, and if he can help them, it will be great. But Logan refused his demand and says that he can't do it. Dwayne asks him why is that, and he thought that the reason he opposed the Baron was for the sake of the territory. Logan says that he is right. He is going to use this money for the sake of the family, but not for the immediate running costs no matter what, because he needs to look ahead. Dwayne was thinking that Logan didn't know a single thing and he will just waste this money. Then Logan asks Dwayne if he pays the family debt with this money, how much would that change the family's situation? Dwayne answers that they will have a bigger budget and running the estate will be easier for at least a few more years. Logan asks him what will happen after that. Dwayne was confused by the question. Then Logan answers himself and tells him that they will be in debt again. They don't even have any specialty products, and because of this, it's become a vicious cycle. And he is trying to break that vicious cycle. So, he is going to use this money for his plan. Dwayne was stunned after hearing Logan. He can't believe that he is really the same hooligan he knows. Then Logan says that he has a favor to ask him, and if he does him a favor, he might be able to help pay some of the family's expenses. Dwayne was eager to do anything if he gets the money, so he asks Logan what it is. Logan tells him that he needs to gather some mercenaries. After that, he starts to pack his things. Rick asks him where he is going. Logan says that he is going to earn money. Rick was confused and said that he already has a lot of money. Logan says that he needs more. Rick says that the Lord will not allow it right now. Logan says that he knows that, and that's why he is going to sneak out. Rick was very shocked by it, but since Logan can't overturn his reputation right now, it's impossible for him to change anything here, so he has to create forces outside. Luckily, he is familiar with the situation outside during this time, because this is when he was kicked out from the family and roamed around the kingdom. First, he wants to scout someone. Rick asks him what is he thinking, running away from home at his age. Then Rick lies down on the floor and says that if he wants to go, then he has to step on him. Of course, this is Logan he is talking to. Logan almost stepped on his face when Rick starts shouting and asking him to stop. Logan told him that he doesn't have to worry and he leaves a letter for his father, and no one will blame him. Rick wasn't satisfied with this and asked him what he is going to write. Logan just smiled at him. Now Rick is more worried than before. When he gave the letter to Logan's father was very angry, and Rick was shivering in fear. What Logan wrote in the letter was like this. He said that he was heartbroken by the engagement breaking up, so he decided to get some air and he will be back soon. Rick just survived by chance. Now he just hopes that Logan comes back soon. McLean family wasn't always in the position it's in now. Even just 200 years ago, they were counts not barons, and their county was vast and extensive, stretching from the neighboring Tesron Viscounty to the Sylvan and Perina Viscounties, as well as the Bifrost Plains. They are revered as the rulers and lords of the southwestern area of the Grandia Kingdom. But as always, good times bring bad leaders, and the same thing happened to them. Until the current lord, Patrick McLean, the useless work of the last 3 generations of ancestors caused their title to be demoted, and with the size of their territory greatly decreased. The vast storage of grain that was once called the McLean Plains was given to the most powerful vassal, and the useful land was divided amongst different vassals. The place they ended up in, as if chased out, was the rough and dry land near the southern mountains. There were no suitable regional products, and the copper ore mines that were common in the mountain territories didn't exist in the McLean territory. And in this state, even if they won the regional war, they would need to ask for help from Kairos continuously. To end this vicious cycle, they need lots of money, much more than the 3 million Logan has. and there is someone who can provide that much money for him. To find him, Logan has come to the Grandia Kingdom's greatest trading city, Kaelon. This city reminds Logan how remote the McLean family is. There are lots of merchants here, selling all kinds of things in the kingdom. And based on Logan's memory, the person he is looking for spent his youth in this city. This person is called Gold Bug Philip Claude. The strongest nation on the continent is the Ares Empire. The Ares Empire is a centralist nation based on the merit system. As long as someone is talented, regardless of gender or age, they can succeed. It is a nation where you can enjoy power and riches. That right is even given to foreigners who aren't citizens of the empire. A perfect example of that is the Grandia Kingdom's Philip Claude. He is one of the wealthiest merchants who moves the empire and is the continent's greatest war merchant, called the Trader of the Grandia Kingdom. However, in reality, even while being called that, he would support those from his home country and use his own money and power to create the miracle of Grandia's sovereign dominion. And that gold bug is this person in front of you. That guy who is looking like someone sucked out his soul looks like someone scammed him. Logan heard that his first business failed because he was scammed, but it looks more horrible than he imagined. He was just thinking if he should just die. Then Logan came near him and asked him if he is Philip Claude. Philip stood up and said that he is and asked Logan who he is. Logan said that he wants to talk for a moment with him. Logan took one step towards him and Philip took one step back. Philip was scared because at that moment he feels a strong emotion in Logan's eyes. An emotion that businessman Philip has seen countless times, and that is greed. And because of Logan's timing and how he's wearing armor that is looking old, Logan was looking like a mercenary gangster. Logan didn't even get the chance to introduce himself. But Philip starts shouting that it's not the repayment date yet. Logan was confused about what he is talking about, and he tells him that he is not here for debt repayment. But Philip didn't listen and starts shouting like a crazy dog. He used his full power in shouting. He was just hoping that he goes away. Then Logan told him to stop his bullshit. He asked him to calm down, and he told him that he was here because he wants to invest money in him. Philip was very confused. He asked him again if he meant that he wants to invest in him. Logan confirms that what he heard is true, and he wants to invest in him. Philip looks at Logan and thought that he's crazy to want to invest in someone who's completely failed. But he can't resist this. So he asked Logan about how much he is planning on investing. Logan asked him how much he needs and told him that he will support him enough for him to repay his debts and make a comeback. After hearing this, Philip almost becomes a puppy from a crazy dog. Then he looked at Logan's armor and saw the crest of the McLean family. After seeing it, his mood took a 180-degree turn, and he got very angry. Logan was confused about what suddenly happened. Philip told Logan that if he wants to scam him, then he should have prepared properly, just like those other bastards that scammed him. He told Logan that this crest belongs to the Southwest McLean barony, and McLean family is a beggar family that needs to live off the coattails of their in-laws. But he wants to invest when the family can't even repay their own debts. That's what I was thinking about. Why he come outside with armor that is like a walking signboard. Maybe it might have its own benefits, maybe? Then Philip told Logan that if he gets caught impersonating a noble, then he'll be executed. Then Philip became emotional and started crying and said that he chose the wrong person to scam because he is really broke. Logan was thinking how to appease him while Philip was crying, saying that he doesn't even have the money to eat or die. Then Logan got an idea to prove that he is not a scammer. Then he asked Philip to look at him, and Logan showed him his force. Philip was very surprised after seeing the force, and more surprised at the fact that he awakened force at such a young age. And a genius like that is trying to scam him. He doesn't think that there's no idiot who would try to ruin his bright future like that. So he decided to believe that he is a genuine investor. Then he apologized to Logan and said that a lot had happened to him, so he was a bit sensitive. Then he asked him what business he has with him. Logan took a breath and told him that he wants to hire him forever, and paying off his debt is just a freebie. Philip said that it's too much to hire him forever, and the McLean family doesn't have the money for that. Then Logan dropped his bag on the ground and asked him about how much his debt is. Philip said that it's 250,000. Logan told him that he will pay his debt of 250,000 and assume his price is around that much too, but he gives him 50,000 more. Then Logan opened his bag and almost blinded Philip with the light of money. He showed him gold and told him that he will give him a total of 550,000 gold coins, all in pure cash. It looks like Philip is blinded by the money and starts seeing Logan as an angel, or that's what he thought for a moment. Because after that, Logan took him to sign a contract with his blood. This contract is not a simple contract, this is a magical contract. With this, if the subordinate tries to purposely harm the boss, they will feel excruciating pain, as if their soul is being torn apart. And if the so-called subordinate that is basically a slave is not happy with that, then they can awaken the force themselves and become at least a high-ranked knight, which is practically impossible for Philip, or pay a 4-circle mage or hire several hundred times that amount of money and ask them to lift the curse. So basically, Philip is screwed over because Logan wrote an expensive contract just to make him his slave. 1 page is the price of 30 slaves. Logan said that they can't really trust each other when it's just their first time meeting. Until now, he said everything formally, but after the contract, he switched to direct informal. Then Logan said that once they build trust with each other, he can get rid of the contract. Then he extends his hands towards Philip and says that they will both do their best. Philip has no choice because there are no detailed periods or conditions in the contract. So he had no choice but to trust Logan from now on. After the handshake, he asked Logan about what he must do from now on. Logan told him to buy monster meat. Philip was thinking, but he ended up saying out loud that he is a real psycho and pulled his hand back. Well, that makes sense because monster blood and meat contain poison, so burning them is common sense at this time. But in a few years, the situation will drastically change. This is because it becomes known that you can make a monster blood neutralizer with common ingredients, and some areas lacking in food will begin consuming monsters. And in the winter, causes of disabilities being treated. Upon consumption of the monster, Kaelon began to appear. Even those who had their private parts injured and become physically sterile saw the effects, and a year after the Royal Mage Tower validates this, Kaelon becomes impossible to find throughout the continent. One species disappears simply from the research results that they were good for virility. With this alone, he can make a lot more than the 3 million golds. Well, if something like this appears in the world, all men and women will go crazy. But seeing this weird excitement of Logan, Philip was thinking if he should just run away before going crazy with a psycho like Logan. Well, I think it's too late for that. He should have thought that before selling himself.
Philip was very surprised after hearing that he is going to use 1 million just to buy monster meat. Philip said that he is against it, but if he is sure about this, Logan said that he is pretty sure. Then he asked Logan about the price he thinks monster meat is sold for. Logan said that Kaelon meat isn't really worth anything right now. Around now, everyone is just burning it because there are no buyers. So if they just order someone to bring the corpses, 200 gold should be enough as per the kingdom's transportation charges. Also, the cost is per unit, so if they bring a lot of Kaelons at once, it will be way cheaper to transport. Then Philip asked Logan that even after knowing the price, but he has the huge budget of 1 million gold. Is he planning to hire a mercenary guild for a kingdom-wide hunt, then buy from them? Logan said that it's what he was thinking and asked Philip if there is something wrong with that. Philip said that he's gone completely the wrong way because all the monster meat is being thrown away right now. So if he just hires a merchant guild for the price of beef instead of the mercenary guild, then everything will be solved. There are already plenty of merchants out there who will bring and sell anything for $1. And even if that's trash to be thrown away, they'll ask each other to acquire it for them. So they probably bring him all the Kaelon meat in the entire kingdom as soon as he asks. Logan was shocked that he already getting returns on his investment on Philip. Philip asked Logan to stop overthinking because money matters from now on, and he can leave it all to him because his fate now depends on his future. Then Logan gave him a list and asked him to buy these things in bulk. After seeing the materials list, He asked Logan if he was trying to manufacture and sell toys. Logan said that it's something better than that. He can't tell him that those are the raw materials for weapons of war. The weapons made from these materials were used in the Grandia Kingdom's invasion war in his previous life. And depending on the battle conditions, a mere soldier could keep a knight in check with these weapons. Don't worry. He wasn't talking about guns. He entrusted Dwayne to hire mercenaries before coming here. Just getting these weapons into their hands could be enough to get an upper hand in the regional war. But first, he needs to find a craftsman to make these weapons and an instructor to train the mercenaries. After 2 days, he reached the city of mercenaries, Harem. There, he met an A-rank mercenary called Kaelon. He asked him to become an instructor, but he refused, stating that he never proactively trained anyone before. Logan told him that it won't be that hard. He just needs to train the C-rank mercenaries that he is going to hire. Kaelon says that he might have heard something wrong about him, but all he has done is guide a few youngsters. So he should entrust this to the professional instructors. Actually, Logan didn't hear anything from anyone. He was here because he worked with him in his previous life, and he was here for him because Kaelon can wield every weapon there is, and even has excellent horse riding skills. Moreover, his value shines when he becomes an instructor. In his previous life, he raised a very powerful mercenary squad after getting gravely wounded, but now he doesn't have the mood to do that right now. So, to convince him, Logan had to use the most powerful weapon, and that is money. Logan offered him 4,000 gold for it. This amount is twice that an A-rank mercenary can get. This offer is very tempting, but he still resists the temptation and refused Logan. Then, Logan increased the amount to 6,000. Still, Kaelon able to resist it. Then Logan say that he doesn't have a choice now. And then he raised the amount to 7,000. This is too tempting for him, and he got angry and punched the wall, saying that he might think that he can get anything with money. But then Logan raised the amount to 8,000. Kaelon completely changed his attitude and said that what he thinks is right, and he thinks the same. Then he quickly got on his knees to show respect. Then they go around while chatting. Logan told him about his identity and asked him if he is curious about why is he hiring mercenaries. Kaelon says that there is nothing to be curious about as long as he's giving him the money. Logan was satisfied with the answer. Then they hear someone shouting on someone. They look around and saw a man beating others while telling them to hurry. The people he was beating, all of them have heavy chains around them. Yes, you guys guessed it correct, all of them are slaves, and that man is a slave trader. And this city is not only known for mercenaries, but also for slaves. And right now, Logan is in the slave market. Well, this sure doesn't look great. But Logan is here to buy a slave at this market. As he walked into the market, some merchants thought that he is a clueless country bumpkin and tried to scam him. But Kaelon scared them, while Logan is enjoying the worth he is getting from his employee. Then they reached a shop with more guards than other shops. The old man at the shop asked Logan if he knows where he is. Logan told him that he wants to buy a dwarf. Then the old man showed him the way and said that he is at the right place. Logan entered and looked around the place. He saw some elves. The shopkeeper told him that they are very hard to acquire, these elves. Then he starts telling more about them. But Logan stopped him and asked to bring the dwarf. This dwarf looks epic. He would be more suited for the villain role. Then the shopkeeper told Logan about the dwarf. He told him that this dwarf is an expert rank craftsman. Logan was very shocked after hearing that he is an expert rank. As you all might already know, that dwarves are innately skilled with craftsmanship. It's a race that creates and fixes objects and finds meaning in it from their youth till old age. And an expert rank dwarf is beyond the skilled craftsman Logan was looking for. Of course, the dwarf is not very happy about being traded like that. Then Logan asked for the price. The old man says that since he's an expert rank, so the price will be at least 200,000. As soon as Logan heard the price, he made a weird face and asked him if he looks like a pushover to him. The old man was very confused. Looks like the old man can't look at Logan's face and dropped the price to 50,000. The old man was very sad after that, and Logan was smiling. Then the dwarf asked him about where's he going now. Logan told him that he is going to the McLean estate in the southwest, and he'll be making the things Logan will request to him. The dwarf was not looking happy, and Logan had to do something about it, because dwarves might be known for being skilled with their hands. But that's not the case for slave dwarves, and that's because despite being the race of craftsmen, without passion, they can't create a true work of art. And if he wants to instill passion in this dwarf, he has to give him hope. To do that, Logan told him that if he does his best for him next 20 years, he is willing to send him back to the mountains. And 20 years is nothing for the dwarf race. The dwarf was looking very happy at the moment. Then suddenly a sound came from behind. There was a man running after two kids and asking others to help him catch them. They are his slaves. When they are near Logan, he saw the boy's face and his two-colored eye. This two-colored eye boy is running fast with another child on his back.
This two-colored-eyed boy is running fast with another child on his back. He is very focused and determined to save the child on his back. He is trying his best, but one man catches him and kicks him to the ground. Then a bold guy comes with a bleeding hand. He is angry because this boy is the one who bit his hand. He starts beating him, but the boy quickly covers his sister to protect her. She is crying, seeing her brother get beaten up. Kaelon tells Logan that he is a slave, so they should just go. Logan says that he knows that, but he seems to recognize the unique features of this boy. He heard of someone with blue hair, red and blue-eyed eyes, a slave before, but he can't remember it. Then he remembered it. This boy's name is Victor. Kaelon is confused about what he is saying. Logan tells him that it's nothing. Actually, Logan is in shock because he never thought of meeting this boy here. In his previous life, there was an immensely famous aura user in the kingdom, a slave in the past, who ran away after killing his master. After being wanted for killing countless soldiers and knights who pursued him, along with even nobles, he went into hiding as a wanted criminal. Then, around 10 years later when he reappeared, he used aura, proof that he had ascended past humanity. After that, he slaughtered the entire family that had owned him. From then on, he killed every noble he came across in Grandia and earned the title of Noble Slayer as an aura user. That slave escape incident happened about a year after Logan became a mercenary. So, in that case, according to the timeline, he would indeed be a slave right now. So Logan was thinking if he rescues this boy right now, then he will have a future aura user on his side. But the problem is that this guy is an unstoppable homicidal maniac. Then this boy bit that man again. He is like a double-edged sword, and if not handled properly, then it can hurt its user. But Logan was thinking that if he's a lethal weapon, he'll slash his own ally, then he can just lock him up. So, he decided to intervene and protect him. He stops that man's kick with his sword. That man starts thinking about who he is and how the hell did he stop him. Then he saw the McLean family crest on his armor and took his leg back. He starts saying that he is embarrassed that he didn't see that he is a customer and says that he is just teaching the goods that weren't listening. He is referring to both siblings as goods. Then he asks Logan about what service he needs. Logan told him that he wants to buy both these children. That man says that both of them are rare red and blue odd-eyed children, so they're pricey. Logan asks him about the price first. That man says that at least 10,000 for each one. The price of a sturdy young slave costs around 300 gold, and he's setting many-fold times the price for kids who are nothing but skins and bones. Well, considering the worth of a noble slayer, 10,000 is still cheap, but there's no way this guy knows that. And above all, Logan doesn't want to let this scumbag make money from the children. So Bjorn starts stating facts about the pricing and said that one of them looks like he's on the verge of death. The boy who was protecting her sister, he is beaten very hard, and her sister is crying. That man says that they are only one on the sale here. Logan told him that the most he can give is 500 gold for each. That man says that it won't even cover their original price. Logan saw anger and asks him if he thinks that he doesn't know the cost of a slave. He scared the trader. The trader starts thinking about how much trouble this kid had caused him, and he is sure that he will do it in the future too. So, he just agrees on Logan's terms. That kid called Victor woke up after some time. He was on the back of Kaelon. Kaelon was confused seeing that he is already up because his injury wasn't one that should allow such a quick recovery. Logan also says that he woke up in no time. Actually, Logan was the one who was secretly releasing force as they are moving, so it's only obvious that he healed faster. It's better than the magic of most low-level priests. However, the sister of Victor is able to detect the force that even Kaelon failed to detect. It looks like she is going to become an archmage or something in the future, but Logan just ignored it, thinking that it must be a coincidence. Of course, the noble slayer is not going to back down so easily just like that. He jumped from Kaelon's back to attack Logan. Of course, Logan easily dodged his attack and caught his hand very easily and grabbed him by his neck. It looks like he is not planning to go easy even on a kid. Logan says that he doesn't know if he is just full of spirit or just plain stupid. He asks the sister to run from there, and her sister's name is Reena. Then Logan squeezes more hard and asks him if he doesn't get the situation he is in. Did he look like that slave merchant to him? That he can easily run from his grasp? He told him that it's great that he is full of fighting spirit, but he should learn to pick his opponents wisely. And he hopes that this will be the last warning he needs. And if he obeys him, then he guarantees that he and his little sister will be safe. But if something like this happens again in the future, then he will get rid of him and his little sister. Then Victor nods in agreement. Well, that's all he can do in this situation. Then Bjorn releases him, and he falls to the ground. Then Logan leans towards him and thinks that it should be enough. He is using the carrot and stick strategy here to win this kid. He says that he is planning to foster him as a knight. He is very surprised to hear that. He asks him again if he really means him. Logan says that's right. And he must know this too, but he still will tell him that knights are honorary nobles. So naturally, he will be able to escape his status as a slave too. And not just him, but his sister as well. He looks at his sister and says that he will do it. Logan understands that his sister was the way to control the noble slayer's violent nature. Then he says that it's great, and he will start his training once they reach the McLean house. Then he asks the dwarf to come with him for a moment. The dwarf was a little surprised. Then Logan told him that he will write down a contract now. Logan says that it will be a magic contract, and it says that if he works for him for 20 years, then Logan will send him back to the mountains. The dwarf was very shocked. He is really thinking of sending him back to his home. Logan says that it's hard to trust a promise that's only words in the air. Then he asks the dwarf if he wants it or not. The dwarf says that, of course, he will do it at all costs, and he will make anything he wants him to make. He was so happy that he started crying. Well, Logan is doing all this to get him motivated, but the dwarf can't hide his happiness. Well, they are showing it good, but it saw what he has gone through. With this, Bjorn got everything he wanted out of this outing. Rather, he overachieved his goals since he even got the noble slayer. So, the preparation for the war between the fiefs is going to be smooth. At this point, Logan didn't know yet that the rumors of his strange behavior had already spread throughout the entirety of McLean during the outing, and his reputation had hit rock bottom and was going underground now. And that Rick was drowning in the mess trying to make amends. Poor Rick.